we try to motivate kids in high school as they prepare for the colleges. So we'll carry every professional. So if there is a kid interested with that line, we will connect that person with that, and that person will remain as a mentor until that kid completes the school. My parents wanted me to be a pilot. So a funny thing is, I did piloting before I left Kenya. I did my piloting, and after I got my PPL, that's mean private pilot license, I took it to my dad. I said, Dad, I'm done. This is it. Let me now pursue what I want.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another episode of the Diaspora Spotlight, Diaspora Highlights. And it's been a very packed day with activity, talking to Kenyans from the diaspora that have come back of different agendas and different activities that they have been doing. These are professionals, they are consultants, they are business people. And with me today, I have Engineer Charles Donga. He is a Kenyan that resides in Atlanta, Georgia. He is someone that's quite vast in terms of experience. He is an aeronautical engineer?
Aerospace.
Aerospace engineer. Oh wow, interesting. He's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But the most interesting part about him is his community-centered approach in terms of handling issues. And one of the things that he's come back in Kenya to do is to give back to the community that actually nurtured him, and to give back home and have a feeling of home. So welcome, engineer. Tell us who you are, where you're from here, and where you stay there, and so that people can relate the two.
Thank you very much. My name is Charles Donga. I'm from Laikipia. Laikipia, it's in Rift Valley. That's where I was born. And then I went to school in Laikipia, Nakuru. And then I started working here with KQ. My first job was KQ. Then I worked with Kenya Pipeline. Then after Kenya Pipeline, I went to US. The purpose of going to US was education. I went there for school.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That was in the year?
Sorry?
The year that you
The
went
year
to
that
school.
was 2008.
Oh, okay. So you went to continue the same passion that you were doing?
So here, what I did, my passion was always aviation, in aviation industry, in airplane industry. But on the mechanical engineering side, my parents wanted me to be a pilot. So a funny thing is, I did piloting before I left Kenya. I did my piloting, and after I got my PPL, that's mean private pilot license, I took it to my dad. I said, Dad, I'm done. This is it. Let me now pursue what I want. So what I did, I pursued engineering on it, and I was able to find a school in the United States. It's the best school in engineering. It's called Georgia Institute of Science and Technology, simply Georgia Tech. It's one of the best. So I was very good with sciences and math, and then I decided to join that school. So I was the only international student, and due to, I would say, having a good relationship with the government, I was able to get a scholarship for the first year in that when I joined that school. But I ended up playing soccer at school, joining the team, and I never paid a single cent till the fourth year.
Wow, that's interesting. I wonder how it feels like to be God's favorite. Although you got me interested somewhere, how many years does aviation school take?
To fly?
Yes.
To fly is 6 months.
Oh, 6 months.
To get PPL.
To get PPL.
Yes.
So how do you try? You went like you did it in. How do you do? I know there's aviation in some high schools.
Oh no, this one I did after high school. Mm-hmm. As I was waiting to join the campus.
Okay.
That's when I did.
The rest of us
so
do
my
computer.
Dad, yes, my dad wanted me to fly.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
And then you decided.
I decided.
Want to fly?
Yes.
I want to make these aeroplanes.
Yes. The flying, actually, when we were running the flying, actually, and I'm sorry to the pilot, we refer to them as a semi-retreat because they don't understand how things work. They follow a manual. They have a crew Bible. A crew Bible is the book that they fill in the performance, everything that's happening on that plane, and the person who make a decision is an engineer. So they're just there like a normal driver, just driving, but they cannot fix anything. So I felt so bad because being a last born, I wanted to challenge. And because I thought the only thing is to do something that nobody have done in my family. And then Kenya didn't have a bachelor degree then. Kenya Polytechnic was having a diploma in aeronautical. So I was supposed to join JUCAT in engineering. I decided to go to Kenya Poly then. I did my diploma in aeronautical engineering, and before I could even graduate, that's how I was able to find a school in the United States.
That's very impressive. Finding someone that's actually passionate about science enough to defy African parents in that age. Because, you know, with our generation right now, Gen Z, we can tell our parents, I don't want to do that, and they would accept. How was that, you know, saying no? And
so being the last born, and it's the last born of the last born. What do I mean by last born? Both of my parents were aged. I'm sorry they are not there, but they were aged. So they were aged, so I was the last born of the last born. My elder brother, who I was after, there is a gap of 8 years. So I was the last born of the last born. So it was very easy to deal with my parents. And because I wasn't that bad, never said no, but this one I said no. And it's okay. He was complaining all the way, saying he wasted my money. Okay, but yes.
But I think if we would see you now, he would be actually happy that you followed your passion.
The best thing, when I graduated, both of them were there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, both of them were there. They were very happy. And even when I tried, I did my first space. It's not that far, but we did a space flight, just launching in the space. So flying with the shuttle and then rounds on the space. I did share those videos with them and they were very happy.
Okay, that's very interesting, but let me just paint this picture to a Kenyan. Engineer Ndonga just told us casually in a conversation that he flew a rocket to space with a straight face. If you are a passionate lover of science and sci-fi, I want you to imagine what he's saying. Am I really painting a bigger picture? I think this is a big deal. I would be more excited than you are about this because
it's not a big deal because those things were happening even before you graduate. So even undergraduates will do this because the difference that we have with the Kenya system, being in the same system, technical, you do what you're supposed to do. You join a professional group like Engineering Aerospace, American Association of Aerospace. I joined at the first year. So you start working on the real projects.
So it was like a club of sorts, apart from the schoolwork?
Yeah, it's a club. Yeah, you might call it a club. It's a club, but you start doing what you're supposed to do, the real project. They will introduce you to the project. Sometimes you didn't play any role, but you're in that project, just to create the passion on it.
Do you think that's something that can be replicated in Kenya in terms of engineering and other hands-on courses?
Yes, because the big issue that we do have, apart from very few engineering disciplines, most of the engineering discipline here, they train technician. What do I mean technician? They cannot design that thing from the scratch. In America system, you come up with a new design. No matter if it will do, it will fly or it will do not. So you come up with a new design. So like us before you graduate, there is a project you have to do. We design drone, you design rocket, and they have to run. So you have to do everything.
Okay, that's
It's a minnow, it's a very small one, but we had to rounds. So if Kenya can adapt those ones, I think they had a very good plan when they had a science congress, those competition, those could have built people, and we are pushing the government now to let them run if they are measuring on sciences, real deal.
So the curriculum in Kenya currently is changing, and there is a pathway that even senior school is going to be doing called the STEM pathway, which means one of the things that they're supposed to transition is engineering. If you were to speak to policymakers today and tell them that there is a better way to make these STEM pathway actually make sense, what would you tell them?
I'll tell them mine. I'm in the United States because of the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math. So at second year, I wanted to have an internship. So the internship, they needed somebody who is a resident or a permanent resident in the United States. And I was not. I was an international student. But because I was within a good grade and STEM, I was able to get the papers so that I can go to that field. That's how they value STEM. Right now, when we have this chaos of immigration in US deporting, they will not deport any STEM because they know what STEM mind can do for that country. Yes.
Okay, so for Kenya, how do we make this work for us and actually support these STEM learners to make sure that, they turn out to what you do right now? Because you said we are training technicians. So I want Kenyan educators and Kenyan policymakers in education to move from training people that need a system that maybe you have created in the United States to making something that actually works here in Kenya.
They need to invest more on it. The books are there, the curriculum are there. They can share with the international curriculum. We have a very good plan as a diaspora group. We want to start having summer. The summer holiday, it's when the kids are out of school for 3 months, starting late May to the beginning of August. So we are working with our kids so that they can come here to those schools and start exchanging on the project they are working. And right now, the digital world, they can work together through the digital world just to make sure they have a project, a real project, and make things move.
That would be really awesome because I can imagine just how much impact an exchange like that would do for us. So we've really delved into what you've done in academia. I want you to condense your journey from 2008 to 2025 right now, just the milestones that you've hit so far until now.
So since second year, I have been working with the aviation, mostly project. The major one project that is still in my mind is a Boeing 787. Boeing 87, we did a reliability. Reliability maintenance is a manual. So the manual, the part of elevators is a part of the wing that make the plane go up. There is an elevator flap. So that project was being done by my professor, and then I worked with him. So what I did a manual. A manual is a troubleshooting document that it tells you the lights is not on. Check the cable. The cable is okay. Check the battery. The battery is okay. Check the terminals. So it's a tree. We call it troubleshooting tree. So I wrote one for the Boeing 787, a portion of it, because my professor was under it. You won't see my name. I was working for my professor. Okay. Yes.
But the experience was nice.
The experience was nice. So I've worked with that one. I have worked with the aluminum material, specific identifying the best alloy for the planes. So Airbus 380, the alloy, I probably not, we sign NDA, non-disclosure, so I cannot say what material it's, but it's aluminum alloy and some material we worked on the part of it. So as a project, yeah, and that's the thing that I wish the Kenya can start doing that. Rather than paying outsider, pay the professor read the project and solve the problem. How engineers are trained out there is a problem solver. You're told you're a problem solver. If you don't solve a problem, you're not an engineer. So you're a problem solver. You see the problem, then you come with a solution. So if the government assigned professors, not all the professors that's supposed to be in class every day. So the free time, let them do research of setting to solve the problem. That's the only way we can.
You can become engineers.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I want us to talk about your community work because it's one of the reasons that you're in Kenya today. So how are you giving back?
So right now we have a medical camp. We have 46 nurses and 3 doctors. So we want to give back to the community. We are where we are because of the community. And then we have been giving money to them. Hey, we have this issue, we have this. And at the end, you find out this was a manageable disease if it was known earlier, information and all the stuff. So I thought we can work with nurses and bring them in, and also the professor to come and build other Kenyans, because there is a lot of opportunity out there. I tell Kenyans, when you go abroad, even if you are going there to visit, pick what you are taking. See what they need. See what that country needs. Because if you are taking STEM and you're in a good school, the government will give you papers. They will keep you there. So you take the right one and behave right. Don't forget your culture. Yeah, don't copy the culture you find there. No, because you don't know the beginning of it or the end of it. So be yourself, concentrate, know the problem. You are free there because probably you don't have your parent there with you, but make sure you make the right decision.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I know that this is not the only community work that you're doing. You've mentioned that you're working with
we have several foundations.
Tell me.
And what we are doing right now in Laikipia, these are one foundations. We are working on schools, renovating schools, mostly primary schools, because for those people who don't know Laikipia is a bit semi-arid. So some places are very poor. The kids still bring water in the morning to school. So those are the problem that we are solving. And also we found out nobody think about the toilets. So we are trying to make a toilet that can be emptied and continue being there. So right now with the team, we'll be going to hand over one in Muranga, a Kayo Primary. Then we'll be adding administration block and 8 toilets in Laikipia. So far we have covered 8 schools and we'll continue doing that.
Okay, that's really interesting. I have a question. You're an engineer. How did you end up with the nurses?
We work, in US, I'm a diaspora leader.
Yes, sir.
So we came together as professional. We have a group as a professional because we wanted to help Kenyans who are coming in. So how I approach is nurses. There's always nurses who are coming from Kenya to come and start work in United States. The first day they don't know where to settle. So probably we'll host them at my place. So, and they don't drive. In some of the states like Georgia, if you don't drive, you won't make it to work. Because the buses is probably 8 buses. So one is 7, 8, 9, so 8 hours only. So if you miss those buses, you won't move. So you have to have a car. So you end up probably hosting that person, find a car, maybe dropping that person. So after getting the nurses, and the Diaspora PAs actually one time connected me some nurses who are in need. They had a job, but they don't know how to get to work or to leave before they settle. I found the need of us coming together. So right now, if you ask me, hey, do you know an aerospace engineer? I'll tell you, yeah. Do you know an electrical engineer? I'll tell you, yes. Do you know a doctor? I'll tell you, no. Yes. Do you know a truck driver? I'll tell you, yes, I do. Because now you'll direct that person to the specific person. If the kids, actually, we try to motivate kids in high school as they prepare for the colleges. So we'll carry every professional. So if there is a kid interested with that line, we will connect that person with that, and that person will remain as a mentor until that kid completes the school. That's my program.
Oh, that's really nice. It's quite impressive how easily you're talking about the blend of both professions, and I love the initiatives that the Diaspora are coming in with. What would you say is the one thing that Diaspora can make actual difference? Because I have heard the word remittances being, thrown around today a lot, but I believe there is more that you can do.
Yes, so mostly, if you can remember the missionary, why Catholic missionaries are very popular, it's because they were giving back to community. You'll find they have a very good schools, institution, they have very good hospitals, and it's because they were giving back to the communities. They feed them, they do all this stuff. So as a diaspora, we want to share what we learn over there, bring it back. We want our economy to expand. We want to feel, yes, we can do our own stuff. So the only way is like, hey, I went to school with several people, and they see, hey, you made it. Then they will tell their kid, we went to school with this guy, and this is our school. This is how situation was. You are in a better school right now, you can be whatever you want. So we want to share our story, where we have been, and there have been a lot of negativity about the people working abroad. We want to tell them, this is where you need to do, this is what you need to avoid. Like this one, I will tell every young man, if you know you're professional, be very careful. The advice that I received when I went to Georgia Institute of Science and Technology, Georgia Tech, our professor told us, stay away from women. I'll tell you why. The worst thing that you can be, you being a good professional, you have a kid out there, and our sisters there, the Black Americans and Spanish, they are very good in that. You'll have kids with 3, 4 different men, then you will never work. Because the engineer is making 6-figure, you're getting 15% for the kid. No, you're getting 50% for the kid. You have 4 kids with people who are making 6-figure, you'll never work. You have all money that you need, only because you have a kid until they reach the age of 18. So if they notice you're professional, they'll be with you just to make sure they have a baby with them. Then the government, and you go to jail, is you don't pay child support. That's the worst that I will tell every young man, avoid this. It's a trap, a big, big trap.
Well, that's a bit of a culture shock, and I think, of course, Charles can speak to that issue because he's lived it and it has been his reality for the amount of time that he has been in the United States. So thank you very much for sharing that today. Is there something that you would like to tell someone who has an interest either in engineering, an interest in community work, or even is thinking of seeking out greener pastures out there?
Check on the website, see the institution. Mostly, and a lot of intake is during August when we are starting fall, especially in the United States. Be on the lookout. If you have a bachelor, the easier it will become for masters. If you have a master's, the easier it becomes for PhD. And after bachelor's, everything is fully paid. You don't pay a coin. The school, yeah, because the people will bring the problem. You work as a research. When you're working on the research, you're getting paid. So you start earning in school. Yeah, and also I'll ask our institution, the simple job like a library and all the stuff, employ the student who cannot pay their school fees. Let them make money. That's how they do out there. They let the student do work there. If their grade is okay, their educational performance is good, let them work there. And then one thing I'll tell the potential parents, I might say potential parents, and parents, for the young people, I would say sports is everything. I studied for 3 good years without paying a single coin, only because I was playing soccer. I wasn't that good, especially. We played very well. My high school probably did very good, but I wasn't that good. But when I went there, I decided this is a job. I'll pray for school and then I won't pay school fees. So, and they're making a kill. They make good money. So if your kid is interested with a certain sport, let them do it, support them fully. That will be a very well paid job.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Engineer, for sharing these very interesting insights in terms of parenting, careers, and even life advice in general. So it has been an interesting session of listening to his life journey, his community work. And do you have social media websites that people can check out the activities that you're doing?
I'm not very, very active on my social media.
But are your organizations in socials?
Yes, mostly. So what we are doing, actually, I'll tell you, I started a project of bringing in the hospital bed. That was 10 years ago. And the governor who was there in that county, I was bringing the bed, he started fighting them. So I decided doing everything that I'm doing for the community under table.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I try not to spread what I'm doing, but the people on the ground feel it and see it.
Well, in this era of social media and documenting these experiences, we tell these stories. Even the story that you're telling today is, I tell people that storytelling has power. You're an engineer, but you've said you're passionate about sports, you're passionate about community work. Sometimes people that are gifted in that learning area might not really know that there is more outside the classroom. But you see, when they hear you share that I do this, I do that, we do this so that people can know it can be done. So do not shy away from talking about your work. It's important. And of course, you're not speaking in terms of money, you're speaking in terms of impact. So do not shy away from telling people this is what I do. Not from we want to even praise you or get credit, but so that people can know it can be done and people can actually have hope that there's still good people out there and they're actually Kenyans that care about what's happening back home here. So it is okay, and we will tell your story for you and encourage more people to actually join your course and support you. Thank you for your time, Engineer Ndonga. I look forward to meeting you. How long are you in Kenya?
I'll be here till mid-July.
Oh, mid-July. We're definitely going to catch up again. Haya, asante sana. Haya, ambia wa Kenya kwa heri.
Asante sana. God bless everyone.
Haya.